Growing up, I got involved in gangs, I got involved in negative lifestyle choices. Back in 2001, I was sent down for 12 years for a drug-related offence. Prison isn't a hotel, it isn't a holiday camp. If so, I've yet to stay in a hotel where I can touch the toilet bowl from my bed, or even another man for that reason. And prison is a place of paranoia and absolute fear. You're in a 12 by 6, often with 2 men in that space, and it literally is a dog-eat-dog world, you know. There's no escape. And for me, I literally picked up a book, and that book was Mahatma Gandhi. He was talking about when absolute change must happen, you must be the absolute change that you want to see in the world. And I was reading it and I was thinking, oh wow, like what needs to be changed here? And now there's this guy that I was sharing the cell with. His name was Ricky. And you wouldn't believe how happy he was to be in prison. Every morning he'd get up, he'd be running around, shaking everyone's hands like he was happy to be there. And the first person I thought I'd help would be Ricky. Now Ricky came from a broken home, complex needs, all of that sort of stuff. And the problem was with Ricky was that every time he was released, he'd go back to the same area with the same associates. And it was almost inconceivable that he'd just go back to doing what he knew. And then a few weeks after his release, he's right back in and they'll fling him in the same cell with me. So what I decided I'd do this time is sit down with him, and it turned out that Ricky had a drug addiction problem. So what happens with prison is when you go in, you're only ever treated for your offence. So for him it was ABH, I think he'd assaulted a police officer. And so they were giving him all the anger management courses, but they weren't giving him the drug addiction courses. And so I got him to talk to the officers, and true to their word, they got him on a detox wing. He's working through his addiction. Ricky confides in me that his girlfriend's pregnant. He got a letter from her saying that she's pregnant, and I'm feeling really powerful now because I'm thinking, wow, you know, I grew up without a father in my household, so at least I've managed to help change one person. His child's not going to grow up fatherless. He gets released from prison. Honestly, I think I'm never going to see Ricky again. Okay, so what happens? 12 weeks later, I'm in the chapel. And in walks Ricky, and I couldn't believe it. I was seeing him like, what are you doing here? What on earth happened? And he said that, well, what happened, Jay, was that the Subutex, they got Subutex is a placebo drug that they give you to help wean you off of hard drugs such as heroin, such as crack cocaine. He says, the Subutex, the prescription of that didn't follow me into the community. So when I went to see my doctor, the doctor wouldn't prescribe it to me, and then I went home. I was gurning, and so I beat up my girlfriend, and she lost the baby, and my heart absolutely sunk because I thought, here we go, like we've got a real young person, and he had, besides the drug addiction, besides him being happy to be in prison, the fact was he had so many transferable skills, lots of things that he you know, in any other walk of life he would have been successful at what he was doing. And so that became my focus. It became, actually, I'm in prison, and at that point I've been sent down for such a long period of time. How can I help lead other people out of this scenario? That became the beginnings of SOS Gangs Project, and it literally became about engaging with people while they were in prison, before and after their release, and helping them turn their lives around. And it was in developing that I became a leader for my own self, and it was through that I became a leader for my own destiny, in terms of I decided to take action. I decided to make real powerful changes in my life. I've lost count of the amount of people that either told me what I was doing couldn't be done, or they presented themselves as obstacles to that. When I committed my offence, I spoke to nobody about it. You know, I just went out there, I took responsibility for myself, and I just did it. But when I was in, you know, when it came to me developing something positive, it was almost like I needed other people's permission to do something. I needed them to say it was okay. And I think what that was is partly fear of the unknown, partly fear of actually not wanting to take responsibility for something. Now, I'm not saying bounce ideas around people, and if they say it's a bad idea or a crap idea, go along with it regardless. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a difference between bouncing ideas off of people to get their take on something, or actually talking to people about an idea because you're scared to go at it alone. They're two different things completely. You need to go with it. You need to trust your gut instincts, and you need to build that self-resolve to make it happen for yourself, because no one else will make it happen for you.